Als nächstes bitte ich den Präsidenten des International Council of Christians and Jews, Philip Cunningham, um seine Worte. Er wird seine Rede auf Englisch halten und wir haben beschlossen, aufgrund der Kälte sie nicht zu übersetzen. Ich denke, wir schaffen das alle.
In 1947, in the town of Seelisberg in Switzerland, several dozen Christians gathered for what was called an emergency conference on anti-Semitism. With the aid of a number of Jewish participants, most prominently the French historian Jules Isaac, they composed a groundbreaking statement. It was entitled An Address to the Churches. More commonly, it is known as the 10 Points of Seelisberg. Dismayed by the realization that perennial anti-Jewish Christian teachings had contributed to the climate that made the Holocaust possible, they were determined, quote, to avoid any presentation and conception of the Christian message which would support anti-Semitism under whatever form, end quote. They sought to create a new and positive relationship between Jews and Christians. Their efforts gave birth to the organization that I'm honored to serve as president, the International Council of Christians and Jews, which is holding an executive board meeting now in Vienna. It could be said that from its inception, the ICCJ has always been guided by the vision of Martin Buber, who was born here in Vienna and whose home in Heppenheim, Germany, serves today as ICCJ's headquarters. In the aftermath of the horrible atrocity of the genocide, Buber wrote, quote, "Despite everything, the peoples in this hour can enter into genuine dialogue with each other," end quote. Which brings us to a pivotal question on our solemn occasion this evening. The past cannot be changed. No matter how horrible, no matter how much we might wish to, it is beyond our ability to alter what has occurred. Quote, "All we have to do is to decide what to do with the time that is given to us," end quote, in the words of J.R.R. Tolkien. Therefore, how can we, in 2015, in a time when violence and terrorism swirl around us, best remember and honor the millions of men, women, and children slaughtered by the Nazi regime of death? What are we to do? Surely there are many principled responses. One of them is the mission and work of the International Council of Christians and Jews. And I'm speaking specifically as a Christian because I am convinced that the unspeakable evil of the Holocaust demands nothing less than a deep-seated and profound religious response. Pope St. John Paul II wrote, quote, "For Christians, the heavy burden of guilt for the murder of the Jewish people must be an enduring call to repentance. Thereby we can overcome every form of anti-Semitism and establish a new relationship with our kindred nation of the Old Covenant. Guilt should not oppress and lead to self-agonizing thoughts, but must always be the point of departure for a change of heart," end quote. Thanks to the pioneers, like those who gathered 70 years ago in Seelisberg, today the time that is given to us is unprecedented in religious history. Diatribe has been superseded by dialogue. Bishops and church ministers learn at yeshivas and synagogues. Rabbis celebrate the installation of new popes. University professors collaborate in intensive research, and published research across religious lines. And all around the world, Jews and Christians dialogue in living rooms and in each other's houses of worship. This has never happened before. I believe it is the responsibility of our generations, in whatever nation we dwell, to fully explore the wonderful possibilities these opportunities present. But there is much work to do. Habits of centuries are not unlearned in a few decades. Nonetheless, if after something like 1,800 years, Christians and Jews can take major strides in turning around their relationship from one of hostility and estrangement to the beginnings of friendship and solidarity, then this is a beacon of hope for many other and shorter-lived interreligious conflicts that beset our planet today. Turning suspicion into friendship is the mission of the International Council of Christians and Jews and its member organizations in over 30 countries. Today, it also involves developing enriching relationships with the followers of Islam through our International Abrahamic Forum. It seems to us that such efforts are a very fitting way to give tribute to the memory of the victims of the Holocaust. And we invite everyone to consider undertaking similar ventures. Thank you for the privilege of offering these remarks at today's commemoration. We pledge to pursue this vision of interreligious respect and enrichment in the years ahead. Thank you.
Bevor ich den nächsten Redner auf die Bühne bitten darf, will ich erstens sagen, hier wird es immer voller und das ist sehr schön. Das Zweite ist, es geht heute um Zeichensetzen. 70 Jahre nach der Befreiung von Auschwitz und wir wollen ein Zeichen setzen, indem wir da drüben die Zahl 70 mit Kerzen erleuchten wollen. Es ist ein kleines, aber ein schönes Zeichen. Wer Lust hat, es sind Kerzen da. Zweitens, es gibt warmen Tee da hinten, wer es braucht. Und die Gegenstimmen werden jetzt für uns, während die Kerzen angezündet und positioniert werden, zuerst das Wanderlied und dann Mir leben Eibig für uns singen. Danke.